I sat here for a while staring at my face, trying to figure out what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say to the magic community, what I wanted to say to women, what I wanted to say to abusers. Obviously, the last 2 weeks has been kind of crazy. And I've seen people that I play with, people that I care about, people that I admire on both sides. I've seen people get blocked. I've seen people feel guilty. I've seen people in disbelief. And I've seen people hurt. I will say that this event brings up a lot for me personally as a former, as a current, I don't even know how to say what I am, but as a survivor of sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and trauma from men who were my friends, men who were my coworkers, men who I looked up to, men who I trusted. It really sucks. And I know that my words probably don't add, or maybe that's just me not ever thinking that I'm good enough. And you know, that's one of the results of these types of traumas. Always feeling inferior, never feeling like you're good enough, never feeling like you matter, never feeling like people should care about you. I talk a lot about how my daughter almost killed herself this year because it allows me to focus on something other than myself. In a lot of ways, her struggling has allowed me to ignore my own problems and put my own problems on hold. And in the last year in therapy, when my therapist asked me to talk about my sexual assault, about my rape, I felt nothing. Even in the last week, when a random viewer called me a bitch on stream, I felt nothing. I am so used to being treated less that I've accepted it as a harsh reality. I've even told my daughters that this is the behavior that they can expect. It's a harsh reality that I felt like there was no escaping from. I will say, though, in the past 4 months, I have found more people who have supported me, who have recognized me, who have stood up for me when I couldn't stand up for myself in the magic community, that I'm overwhelmed. I can't say how Benita is feeling about the recent events, but I can say that the heart of the magic community that I've come to love so much is amazing. Those of you out there who are standing up for the LGBTQIA plus community, who are standing up for women, all of those men who took off your clothes, and some who still continue to, in support of female streamers and female magic players, all of those people who came to question MDL and I Hate Your Deck when this popped up. Thank you. Because It is not always so easy to stand up for yourself when you've been a victim of these things. It is not always so easy to question someone in a position of power, to question their behavior, to believe the victim. The one thing that I don't talk about when I was raped is what happened after. I can talk about that all day long, about how he pulled my pants down, about how I told him no, about how I felt like I was responsible because I could have, should have done more to help myself. I can talk about that forever, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this and that upsets you or hurts you. Even as emotional as I am right now, it's very hard to feel something about that. But what I do feel something about is how my chain of command, my friends, and the people that I cared about and trusted treated me afterwards. About how when I was again sexually harassed by my supervisor, that my own friends said that I was just another whore who liked to fuck around. Pointing to the fact of that incident of my behavior. They said that I just wanted to get promoted. He wouldn't promote me, so I filed a harassment claim against him. And the funny thing is, even when people tried to help and change the way things were going, they told me he'd never get promoted. They told me that he'd be forced out of the army. They told me they were sorry. The truth is, he did get promoted. He was not forced out of the army, and they were not sorry. I know that I'm wasting a lot of time and space with these moments of silence, but I want you to know that this behavior sucks. It's absolute bullshit. We should not have to tell women to hold their keys in their fist a certain way, or not to dress a certain way, or not to act a certain way, that we must both be sexual and prudish, that we asked for it, but weren't pretty enough, that we wanted revenge for all the things that we didn't get, whether we deserved them or not. Today I'm angry and I'm hurt, but I also have hope. I'm angry for Benita. I'm angry for the other people who lost out on opportunities because of a person in power over her. He doesn't have any power anymore, at least not over her. And we can remove the rest of his power as a community. You can choose not to support abusers. I want to be very clear that I do think people can get help, that they can change, and that they can be better. But I also want to be very clear that actions speak louder than words. And no matter how much therapy you've been through, if your gut reaction is to slut shame your victim, you need to go back to therapy. My heart also hurts because when this happens, with someone who is in a position of respect, a position of power, a position where so many people look up to them. It divides and breaks a community. But I think we can overcome. And I hope that we do. I don't hold any hate for those people, women and men, who supported him in those early moments. I think most of them have seen the truth now. And I think at least some of them are ashamed that they could have even paused in thinking that he was a good person. You can have good actions and not be a good person. You can have bad actions and still be a good person. But when you continue to harass someone that you abused and you continue to put down someone that you abused, you have work to do. So I'm going to use these words as I used them once before. It caused so much discourse. This is an official call. Do better. Get better. Mean it. Because there are women out there who are hurting, who are suffering, who do not deserve your bullshit. The Magic community, you don't have to divide yourselves over this. This is an easy option. Support victims, not abusers. Support change and growth. Support therapy and mental health. Support forgiveness when it's time. If you've taken the time to watch this video, I just want to thank you. And I'll see you around.